Good morning and welcome to Coffee Ann, the longest running panel discussion show in American radio. To make a comment or ask a question to the panel, call 401-766-1240 or email coffee@woonsocketradio.com. And now, let's join the Coffee Ann panel.
And a good morning to you. It is Coffee Ann time here on ON, AM, and FM. It is Thursday morning. It is August 10th, and my name is Joe Callahan. Thanks for joining us and the rest of the Coffee Ann panel. Say hi, panel. No one's arrived yet. It's 8 in the morning. That's when the show starts, and that's when we expect people to arrive by, but no one has walked in just yet. We're expecting Attorney Bob Lotter. We're also expecting Sue Tessier-McKenzie from the call, and we're expecting Woonsocket Mayor Lisa Baldelli Hunt, but they'll arrive in due time, I guess, and they'll get here when they meander on in. So in the meantime, it's me and you for just a few moments while we await the arrival of other people here on the Coffee Ann program, and then we'll get things really up and running on the program. All right, just taking a look at some of the things that are happening around the country. The state, the town, and state ranked as the most friendly for pets, by the way, just in case you needed to know this, Scottsdale, Arizona. That's how they treat their four-legged friends. So there you go. New study by WalletHub.com ranked the Phoenix suburb as the most pet-friendly city in the United States. It used a number of metrics to come up with the rankings, including pet health, wellness, and pet budget. While it was ranked poorly for the latter, it landed in the top spot for health and wellness, and also in the top 10 for outdoor pet friendliness. So there you go. Get your dog and head on out to Scottsdale, Arizona. All right. Joining me at the Coffee Ann table, Sue Tessier-McKenzie. Hi, Sue.
Good morning.
Nice to have you here. And Bob Lotter is sitting down as well. Good morning to you there, Robert.
Good morning. Good to be with you.
Glad you're here. Good. I got a good question for Bob this morning.
Uh-oh. Yes.
Oh, I like those.
All right. Let's say you're the passenger in a car, Bob.
Yes.
And your driver speeding.
Yes.
And a police officer pulls them over.
Right.
You as the passenger, what are your rights in this situation? What if the cop asks you for your ID?
I believe the police
What
can
is the
ask
rule?
you for your ID.
Well, do you have to give it to them? You haven't done anything. You're just in the car.
You're in the car, but I think that the police have the right to try and identify everybody who's involved in a particular incident. Yes.
Okay.
They have the right to request from the driver the license identification, the registration on the car, the proof of insurance, and I believe they have the right to ask the passenger for their identification.
As well.
Yes.
Okay. I wasn't aware of that. I didn't know what
I will
your
check
rights
it out
were
for you,
in
but
that,
I believe
in that
it is.
situation.
So what'd you do, argue with the cop?
No. It's stuff that, when I got nothing better to do, it's stuff I see on the internet, and people give you quote unquote advice, what to do in certain situations when actually dealing with the police, and that was one of them. Of course, every state's different, and and it's the internet, so I don't take this stuff with a grain of salt. And they say, well, you don't have to answer anything because you haven't done anything. I'm like, I don't know if that's the smart thing to do or the right thing to do. So I said, I'll ask
I
Bob.
believe in my commercial last week I was talking about the driver of the vehicle. I'll look up about the passenger of the vehicle. But from a practical point of view, if you're a passenger in the vehicle and the car's being stopped for anything, why give the police a hard time as to who you are? Cooperate with the police, at least to the extent of saying, yes, my name is Joe Callahan, and I'm wanted for murder in 5 states.
See,
Well, maybe not that last part.
most of the time they say, I invoke the fifth
Okay.
when asked questions.
Well, if you're being asked questions about, do you know why I pulled you over? You don't say to the police officer, yeah, because I was speeding 100
That's
miles
right,
an hour.
because now you've admitted it.
No, yes, correct.
You say, I don't know.
I don't know.
The other one was, do you know how fast you were going? Yes, I was going the speed limit.
Okay.
Even if you're going 85 in a 30 mile an hour
Right.
zone, I was going the speed limit. Never say, oh yeah, I was going 85.
No, correct.
All right, just little tidbits of information right there. So we just had it on our newscast. The fires in Hawaii,
That's
on the
amazing.
island of Maui. 36 people have died,
36.
and people are jumping into the ocean to escape the flames.
There were photographs on television last night of how it was actually going down a main street commercial area
Yeah.
and consuming the buildings.
Crazy. Huh?
I never expected forest fires in Hawaii. I thought they had plenty of rain.
Yeah.
And they have a hurricane that's going toward them, but apparently it's not going to be delivering
Enough?
any rain to the island.
What, a lot of wind instead?
I guess so.
Oh, great. All right. But that is rough. Sue has got a question. She has her hand raised. Yes,
don't have a question, I have a
To the
statement.
brunette in the second row.
Yes.
To the brunette in the second row. Do passengers have to show ID in Rhode Island?
She's looking on her phone.
No passenger of a motor vehicle shall be requested to provide identification or any other documentation by a law enforcement officer when the motor vehicle has been stopped solely for a traffic violation, unless there exists reasonable suspicion and or probable cause of criminal activity. That's in Rhode Island,
Okay, what's the source on that? Because that sounds good.
doesn't it?
Yes, it sure
It
does.
sounds
Well, hey,
so
Bob,
official.
I'm sitting here trying to be like, like Bob.
You're doing better than I am.
Is that
Okay,
from
if you
some law thing?
I
or just,
literally just Googled it,
Yeah.
and it came to Rhode Island. And
Yeah.
so there's a number of different. There are a number of different ways to ask a question
Of course,
Google.
yeah.
And a number of different ways to get the answers. But it specifically stated Rhode Island.
Next time, when Sue gives the advertisement for the call and the phone number, that's the one to call for the legal
have
advice.
legal advice as well. So if it's a routine traffic stop,
Right.
as the passenger or in the back seat, they should not be requesting to talk to you,
Right.
just to the driver. But if they see the crack pipe on the in your lap,
Yeah,
then
it says
they can
it
say,
is
"All right, who
legal
are you?"
to refuse. It says
You
it's
could say, "I don't
legal
have to give that to you in the
refuse."
state
Yeah.
of Rhode Island." Wow, there you go. Wow. All right.
I'm glad Sue was here this morning.
All right. So a crazy story, and out of Connecticut, the chain fast food people of Subway is offering free sandwiches for life to someone who will actually change their name to Subway.
Okay.
Is that first or last name? I heard that.
I would
Like
assume
Sue Subway?
No, I thought it'd be the other way around.
Subway Sue?
Yes.
Oh, well, that doesn't sound right.
Well, Subway Tessier McKenzie,
Right.
is what it would have to be. The sandwich shop chain says over 10,000 people have submitted entries indicating a willingness to make the name change. They do plan to select a single winner from a pool of applicants, giving the person $50,000 worth of gift cards. They figure that'll be enough for your
Feed 'em for the
lifetime
year,
to win a
for
sandwich.
life.
Now, the winner will also receive $750 to help cover the cost of the actual legal name change. Bob, how much does it cost? $750 in Rhode Island to change your name?
Well, in
Seems
Rhode
like
Island,
a lot.
in Rhode Island, you'd be filing a petition in the probate court for the municipality because probate court is where you have the right to change your name. I would think that that's pretty high. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Well,
would
maybe
think-
other states more. Yes, Sue.
Well, your filing fee isn't going to be terribly high. I don't know those off the top of my head.
Yeah.
And attorney fees.
Oh, attorney
for,
fees. Yeah.
Well, we'd like to charge as much as, but no, it wouldn't be anywhere close to that. No.
All right. Sue?
I did change my name legally years ago. My actual first name was Susanna.
All right.
It was Susanna Teresa Tessier. I could not take one more verse of "Oh Susanna." I used to go to camp, and that's what I would hear, like "Oh Susanna." I said, "I'm done."
Enough of this. Huh?
So I, out of respect to my parents that named me, I kept the answer. Now my given name is Susan Ann Teresa Tessier.
Okay.
Adding the married one into that, it's Mackenzie.
Right.
But yeah, I did. I could not tell you though. That was, oh my God.
And how much did it cost?
I'm old, so it
was it
was.
back
I
then?
don't remember. It was so many years ago. Like, I don't want to say how many years ago. Okay, we'll just leave it at that.
Okay.
But it's
years ago.
It's a really simple process. You file a petition in the court. I think it's 1 or 2 pages long. You fill out the blanks. You go to the police department. You get a BCI check to show that you're not involved
Wanted
in criminal
somewhere,
activities.
okay.
You show up in probate court one time. The hearing probably takes all of about 5 to 8 minutes. Judge will probably ask you, why you're changing your name, and as Sue just said, she'll have a reason. As long as you're not changing your name to something that is obviously trying to deceive other people. I couldn't change my name to Donald J. Trump because that would be an attempt to deceive people.
All right.
it's going to be approved.
So no problem changing your first name or last name, or is there a little more
No.
difficulty? No.
No, not at all. We've done quite a few of them in the last few years because as people are going for the valid IDs, the real IDs that you get from the police, the state, they go and get their birth certificates. And it was a tradition back in the 30s and 40s and early 50s for parents who were very religious to use a saint's name as the start of
That's right. My grandmother was like that.
Okay, and they never really used the name in their lifetime.
Right.
We did one where a guy, I think the first name was Joseph, and his real name was Hector, and then his last name. Well, he never used Joseph. He's always been known as Hector that. And it suddenly came up. So to make everything work out, he had to go to court and change his name back to Hector and forget about the Joseph part.
Wow. This didn't affect because my grandmother went through that, and going all through school because she went to Catholic school too. Every girl was Mary because that's what they were named.
Right.
Well, that's where the Teresa came from.
Yeah,
Saint
all right, a
Teresa.
saint. Okay, well, and this one it was.
But as a middle name.
Well, her name was Mary Ethel
Wow.
Hayden was her maiden name, and so all the girls had to go by their middle name to differentiate.
Wow.
And so she was never Grandma Mary. She was always Grandma Ethel. That's what she went by.
No
Right.
kidding.
Well,
But you had to be named by a saint, or else you couldn't get into heaven. That was
is
the
that,
rule.
that's what's keeping me out of
Nah.
Right?
Well, there may be a
That's
few,
the problem.
there may be a few more things there, Bob. But
Oh, okay. Because if that's the only thing, I'm down there changing my name to a saint right away.
Saint Joseph, there you go.
Yep.
All right. Well, the guy that wants to build the soccer stadium in Pawtucket says he has the money now.
Great. And
Do we believe him?
I don't know.
I don't know.
What are his limitations on buying the stadium? What are his requirements that have to be met before he'll actually turn over the cash and take the deed?
Well, people were working on it all the way like last May, last June, and then the money ran out. And so the people that were working on it said, let us know when you have the money, and they went away because they got other things to go and build. Well, okay, he's now come up with the 14.5, or so he says, the $14.5 million to complete the construction of the stadium.
Okay.
So now he goes back to the people that are building it. Okay, I've got the money now, but they're booked other places, and they said, well, so there's no date on when they're actually going to come back and start again.
But he doesn't yet own the stadium. He hasn't purchased
Well, he's
it.
owned it. I mean, he's building it, so he's bought the land.
Oh, wait a minute. We're not talking about the same place. You're talking about the soccer field.
Right? They want
Okay,
to build a soccer
I
stadium.
thought you were talking about McCoy.
No, not the baseball.
I'm
field.
sorry. I'm completely confused on that.
This is the soccer team that is building a stadium.
All right.
But he just ran out of money. But now he says he has it, so he wants to continue building it, so this team can play there. The
Okay.
team's going to play at Bryant University when the season starts
In the meantime, yeah.
in 2024. So then he wants to play down at Pawtucket in 2025.
All right.
So Dave, I was talking to Dave about it. He believes him that he has the money. I'm just so skeptical about this project. I'm like, okay, show me
Show
the
me
baby.
the money.
Yeah, that's right.
Show me the money.
I'll believe it when you actually start building it again. Or is something else going to happen where we lost it, or
No,
where did it go, or something
Right,
like that?
where did the money suddenly come from?
Well, he won't say that either.
Right.
And he says it's all private. That's why.
Yeah.
So I don't know if he went out to his
Private
friends.
funding type of thing.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I heard, and that's
got-
what confused
I
me.
got 15 of my friends together, all to give me $1 million.
Yeah.
So he already owns the land.
Yes.
All right,
Because he's
fine.
already
So
started
it's-
building on it.
Okay, then however he's getting the money and coming along, good for him.
All right. So let's see. Brett Johnson, that's the man. He's the founder of the company called Fortuitous Partners, chairman of the Rhode Island Football Club. Made the investment update on Wednesday, and they'll move forward whenever they can get the workers to come back and
Now-
start building it again.
Have you ever had a chance to see what the overall plan looks like? What they're actually going to be constructing?
I have seen artist renderings of what it's going to look like.
What goes into creating a soccer stadium? Just the bleachers on the side? Do they have?
Well, it's going to look like a big U, okay? So short on one side, long on one side, and then short again. And if you're looking at it the way I have it in my head, on the right side, so you're going to be looking down on it, on the right side is the river.
All right.
So there's no bleachers on the river side.
Okay.
So it's a big U
All right.
on the other side, and I'm not sure how many it can seat. 10,000, maybe less than that, 7 or 8.
But then they'll have to have locker rooms and
Oh yeah, concession stands and all that stuff. Yeah.
and parking lots.
Yeah.
Okay.
I haven't noticed where that was going to be. I know they wanted to tie it into Apex and have the big whole walking thing, but I don't know if that's had to be changed because that hasn't seemed to have gone through. All I can see is a lot of soccer balls going in the river.
Right? That's what I was just sitting here thinking, like, wow.
They are going to put up nets to
Yeah.
try to keep the soccer balls from going into the Seekonk River, but who knows?
Right.
And they want to use it for other things: high school soccer, collegiate
Yeah.
soccer, shows, concerts in the summertime, that kind of thing. They want to do big things with it, of course.
Great.
But we'll have to see what happens. We got to get the workers to come back and finish it. So we're looking at at least another 2 years
Wow.
before it gets finished. Now,
Nope.
unless costs go up again and they need more money, that's what I'm always concerned about. Well,
And that's what's been
great,
happening.
You raised 14.5, but we really need 23.
Yeah, that's what's been happening with a lot of construction.
Yeah.
Everything's going up. So, like, I've seen houses that have been worked on, like gutted, changing the windows, and then start tearing on the outside, and now it's done. There's nothing happening. I guess is they ran out of money because everything went up again, and they were working on it through the pandemic.
Yeah.
So,
Or if you're an addict to the home improvement shows like my wife is, they always suddenly find out that the bearing beam in the living room has
Yes.
been completely cut away by the prior owners, and you have to
Get something
lots
in there.
Yep.
more money into.
because now it's unsafe.
Right.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
right.
that's-
My favorite is there's a leak in the basement that we didn't know was there.
Yeah. How did you miss it?
Yeah, don't you see the puddle?
Right?
All right, we're going to take a break here in the Coffee and program. Comments and questions can be called in at 766-1240. More Coffee Hands coming up. Stay tuned.
Krakow Deli Bakery and Smokehouse offers authentic homemade Polish food to make your next meal real special. Try our many varieties of hot and fresh pierogi with onions and dirty sour cream, or pick up golubki, kielbasa, babkas, or some fresh rye bread. We also offer a large selection of specialty and imported goods. We're open Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays from 9 to 6, Wednesdays 9 to 5, and Saturdays 8 to 5. Follow us on Facebook to learn about our weekly specials. Located at 855 Social Street in Woonsocket, Krakow Deli Bakery and Smokehouse has all the authentic Polish foods you love.
The Coffee and panel is enjoying coffee from Down East Coffee in Pawtucket. They're a 62-year-old family business that roasts all its coffee right here in Rhode Island. Founded originally as Excellent Coffee Company, they provide great coffee to food service establishments throughout New England.
Have you heard of Scott McGee with Remax Properties? He's been selling real estate in Rhode Island and Massachusetts for the last 17 years, and you can see that he loves what he does. Scott, as well as his team, take pride in what they call the fair and honest team. No gimmicks. And no, they're not buying your house if it doesn't sell, etc. Just fair and honest real estate. Scott personally works with tons of sellers and buyers and specializes in residential properties as well as commercial, and he's always very fair and offers super competitive rates. Remember, this is probably the biggest move in dollars that you will ever spend or receive. You want to go with a trusted and experienced agent. Scott is fair, honest, and modest, always puts the clients first, and he also dealt with literally almost any situation. You really need to look at your real estate needs as a business. You want to pay and get the right money now so that you're not paying for it later. Trust me. So why not give Scott McGee a call at 401-639-2906. That's 401-639-2906.
It is Coffee and here on ON Radio. Thanks for joining us. This is Joe Callahan here with Bob Lauder and Sue Tessier-McKenzie from The Call. And Sue, time for your first message from The Call newspaper.
Well, good morning. As I said last week, we're still closed. We are, however, reachable. If you need anything through classifieds, legals, obituaries, anything of the sort, you can call Christina at 767-8503. You may have to just leave a message. She does retrieve her messages throughout the day. As for myself, if you needed to get a newspaper because you didn't get your delivery, by all means call my cell at 487-4136. We are also working on our Community Choice Awards. I have been crazy busy trying to contact the top 5 in all the listed categories. So if you haven't heard from me yet, there's still time. Or you can call me and question me, and I'll go over the list for you. Again, it's Sue McKenzie, 487-4136.
All right, Sue, thank you very much. All right, I need the two of you to put your
Well, before that,
Thinking
I was going
caps
to
on,
ask
yes,
you.
Bob.
You were away on vacation last
Yes,
week.
yeah.
What good stuff did you do during the time?
I've told the story a number
Oh.
of times. I hope people don't get too bored of it. Doing a lot of work at the house. Speaking of HGTV,
Right.
That's my sister-in-law. She's helping us like redo the entire house. By the way,
Oh my
and so
gosh.
she was down with us helping out, and she was cutting some wood on the floor, and then we took her to urgent care.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, she cut her thumb, like go from the top down to like the first knuckle. And when she said, "Oh, I got to go to urgent care," I thought she was kidding until I saw the blood on the floor.
Yeah.
And then I saw her look at the cut, and I said, "Ooh, that's not a Band-Aid. That's more extensive." And so
Right.
to urgent care we went, and they did a quick little X-ray because they were worried that she might have hit the bone. She did not.
Well, that's
And that's good. And then, but the doctor did say it's the worst jagged cut on the thumb he or she had ever seen because it was
Really?
like it's one of those table saws so it's a real jagged
Yeah.
blades. So it was all jagged. So it took 6 stitches to close up her thumb, and so she still has the bandage on now, and she'll have it on until next week, when she'll get the stitches removed. So.
wow.
Whoa, that's
So
terrible.
other than that, we had a lot of fun. She ordered stuff for us, and we put stuff together and cabinets and things like that. And I'm still waiting for her to complete. I have to wait for for her thumb to heal to complete the new floors she's putting in for us.
Wow. Wow.
So
Whoa.
lots of fun there.
Your sister-in-law is putting in a floor for you?
Yes, because she's done it at her house. Her and my brother have bought another house in Dummer, New Hampshire, which is way up in the White Mountains. She's like redone the whole house. She is good at doing this kind of renovations. She can cut it and she can install it herself.
Wow, you are so lucky.
We are saving a ton of money
Oh,
in
absolutely.
installation costs.
And you
All
said-
we're doing is buying the products.
And you said the place she has is in Dummer, D-U-M-M-E-R?
That's the name of the town.
Dumber, like Dumb and Dumber?
Yes. No B though.
Oh.
That's the name
Wouldn't
of
you
the
like
town.
to live in that town?
Right?
Not
They-
much goes on in that town.
I can
Town
imagine.
of about 1,000. Sleepy little place. All right. We need you to put your thinking caps on for this one because I don't know what this term means. A Boston man died. He was attending a music festival in Vermont, and he passed away from what they're saying is M, like Mary, D, like David, A, like association, MDA, intoxication. Does anybody know what that stands for?
I would imagine that the researcher sitting next to me, who is
Well, look it up.
frantically looking it up, will have the
All
perfect
right.
answer.
Police say
I
30
have no idea personally.
I haven't heard of it. 35-year-old Ian Denhart died after being found unresponsive at the Firefly Music Festival on July 7th, which was held in Bethel, Vermont. All right. A medical examiner in Vermont has completed an autopsy and found MDA as the cause of death, and it's been ruled an accident.
Okay.
Denhart was a Boston-based freelance computer programmer.
I have no idea. However, while Sue's looking it up, I can tell you
Yeah, it's
that
What is
in
it,
depth
Sue?
here. Well, I don't have the answer, so
Okay.
you,
Oh,
you
okay.
jump right in. I have to read on this.
I
All
went to a
right.
music festival this weekend.
Oh, great.
The Ryans invited Gene and I to go down to Jazz Fest in Newport. Never been there before.
It's a lot of fun down there.
Oh, yeah, it
Yeah.
really was.
At Fort Adams, right? State
yeah,
Park? Yeah.
Fort Adams. It's loud,
Well, yeah.
really loud. When you leave, it's sort of like, you're feeling sort of semi-deaf. The hearing does come back, but it was a lot of fun.
You
Get to
remember
see-
who you saw?
We saw Marsalis.
Winston Marsalis?
No.
Bradford
No,
Marsalis.
I'm wrong entirely.
All right.
It's the guy
Not
who
Marsalis at all.
the guy who used to be with Stephen Colbert on television.
Yeah. I don't know.
Okay, it'll come back to me.
All right.
We saw one called War and Treaty. We saw one with a Louis Armstrong tribute type band.
All right.
A few others that we saw.
All right. Nice. Good weather?
Perfect
Right down
weather.
there?
Yes.
Little breeze off the ocean.
Yes.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was very, very good.
Good. Any luck, Sue?
Yes.
What'd
Okay.
you
So
find?
MDMA is a drug.
It's a drug.
Yes.
Okay. MDA.
Which I'm surprised they didn't call it an overdose.
Intoxication, which is kind of the same thing, I
Right.
guess.
Well, this is MDMA or ecstasy have become increasingly popular
right.
and are commonly referred to as club drugs.
Oh, okay.
So it sounds like he took too much of the
It does
MDMA.
sound like that. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
John Baptista. That was the.
that was a big name.
Yes.
All right. Very good. All right. We want to mention about Scott McGee. We had the ad for him, and he does have a housing up for sale. And it's at, if you look at the computer, you can see some of the pictures for it. This is at 495 Douglas Pike in Smithfield, Rhode Island. They are asking for this little baby right here at $699.9. And let me get down here. We'll go to some of the more photos. There's a look at the kitchen right there.
That looks nice.
Nice. There's the outside
wow.
of this house. I gotta get bedrooms and baths, right? Let's see. Do we gotta somewhere? It is a sprawling executive ranch, 3 beds, 2 full bathrooms, large private primary suite as well. So there's the outside of this house in Smithfield and Douglas Pike. There's another look at well, that's a good kitchen
Wow.
island right there.
That-
That's
yes,
good
that
size
is.
right there. There's another shot of the outside of the house with a big long driveway and a cutout for the driveway as well. Another look at the kitchen. Lots of kitchen pictures here. Another Christmas kitchen nook. And nice little fireplace with a big screen TV. I wonder if those antlers come with the house.
Right? Well, didn't the last week's one have some type of an antler? There was something in last week's picture. I think it was not the same one. Bull horns or something last week. I wouldn't call them antlers.
I don't really recall. I just know that a kitchen
Well, I do,
like
but-
that is catnip to my wife. It's
Well,
like, oh wow, we can start making changes. No, no.
I'll get your wife in charge with my sister-in-law. And, you'll be all set there, Bob. All right. If you're interested in this home, please give Scott McGee a call, 401-639-2906. All righty. Other things going on around here. MDA. Let's see. Kamala Harris is coming to the area.
Really?
Yeah.
Where?
This
When?
weekend. She's going to be in Martha's Vineyard.
Oh wow.
If you wanna go
is
down
she
and say
visiting
hi.
the Obamas or?
Actually, no. There is a fundraiser on Martha's Vineyard for Joe Biden and,
Okay.
and the whole Democratic Party. And so she'll be attending. And it's a grassroots reception to raise money for the Biden Victory Fund. Tickets start at $50, which is actually pretty reasonable, I would
Probably,
say. But if you give a $10,000 donation, you get a photo opportunity with the Vice President.
That's great.
That's
Although,
great. That sounds pretty
You know,
high.
one could also Photoshop one's picture into another
Yeah.
photograph for a lot less than $10,000.
You're right about that. Kamala Harris was in Boston last month. She attended the National NAACP convention. So it's not, the Obamas used to go to Martha's Vineyard on vacation.
Right. I thought
So
they had a house down there.
We were discussing that yesterday. They used to rent
Oh, okay.
quite a bit,
Yeah.
but we think we think they bought something.
Somewhere along the lines, I thought I did hear that because they had been going there frequently.
Yeah.
That I thought I heard that same thing.
But she's not there on vacation. This will be a working kind of thing on Martha's Vineyard, and it looks like it's gonna be a nice sunny day on Saturday. So it's gonna be a beautiful day.
Hope they have a good time.
Now, is there an airport on Martha's
Yes.
Vineyard?
Yes.
There is. Okay,
Yes.
because I didn't think she's going to
Yes.
go into Woods Hole and take the ferry
No, there is an
with,
airport,
with all those commoners.
right? Yeah, the commoners take the ferry.
Yeah.
The important people use the airstrip.
She'll now. Does she fly on Air Force 2?
I
the
don't know
president
what
flies
she
on
would
Air
fly
Force
on,
One.
and I have no idea how big the airport is there. If it can accommodate, well, it must have because
Well, yeah,
the
how did-
Obamas
how
were
did
there.
Obamas
Yeah.
They
get
probably
in?
went on Air Force One. So yeah,
Or did they land on the Cape and take the helicopter over?
I really don't know.
So I don't
that
know.
would
It's
work
a while
too.
back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Martha's Vineyard is not that big.
No.
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 So, okay. Let's see. Looks like we're going to take a break here in the Coffee and program. So, Sue, let's get a second message from the Call newspaper, please.
Already. Wow. Okay. Again, we have lots going on at the call. We are no longer just a print newspaper opportunity for advertising. We offer digital marketing. We build websites. We manage your social media accounts. Because a lot of people, oh, I don't have time for Facebook. I don't have time for Instagram. Well, nowadays you really need to make the time or let us take over. We can help you do it. We can work on everything from email blasts to target your exact customer that you're looking for, to building a website, maintaining your website. So we have it all. You can give me a call at, again, Sue Tessia McKenzie at 487-4136.
All right, Sue, thank you very much. And you just explain to Bob what a website is. 'Cause you got to start there before we start building stuff, okay? Right, Bob?
If it's not slate and chalk,
Well,
it's beyond my
it's
abilities.
a big step up from that.
Rats.
He's like on the Flintstones. You had to get out the chisel.
Right. Well, I think in some ways, I understand where you come from, because there are some people that don't want the websites and this and that. Not all businesses have to have them.
Right.
Okay. But you do need to obviously have knowledge of all of it. So anybody else referencing you, and you can say, oh yeah, I went to their website, or they had this, or they had that. I couldn't build a website either.
Yeah.
I'll just have to refer them to Sue.
Yeah.
Yep,
there you
send them
go.
to me.
And whenever I get an email from Bob, I'm amazed.
Right?
I hope this is actually for me. All right, time for a look at the weather forecast, and it's being sponsored by Unbound.org.
Increasingly cloudy today with a high of 82 degrees. A chance of showers and thunderstorms late this afternoon, and some storms could produce gusty winds and heavy rain. Tonight, patchy fog, overnight low of 64, and showers and thunderstorms are 80% likely. Some storms could produce gusty winds and heavy rain. New rainfall amounts in Woonsocket between 3/4 and 1 inch possible, more to the south. Friday's weather, sunny and a high of 81 degrees. Saturday, mostly sunny with a high of 85. Sunday, looks like a slight chance of a shower or thunderstorm in the afternoon, and partly sunny skies with a high of 84. Monday, mostly sunny and 83. Tuesday, there's a 60% chance of some storms and heavy rainfall. Otherwise, partial sunshine with a high of 80. And next Wednesday, sunny and 81.
Currently outside the Navigate Credit Union broadcast studio at the corner of Park Ave and Kennedy Street under cloudy skies. We've got 72 degrees. A girl in Kenya dreams of becoming a doctor. An elder in Guatemala dreams of being part of a community. Reach out and change the world, and it will change your own at unbound.org.
For an Allstate agent, providing protection options that fit your life is something they take, personally. Allstate agents are committed to learning about your needs and helping customize protection to meet them. From bundling your home and auto insurance with ease to evaluating optional coverage, your Allstate agent can help build an insurance proposal that fits your life. And just as important as learning what you need is learning what you don't. Because helping you get coverage you want with savings you deserve is what Allstate is all about. It's time to get coverage that's catered to you. Are you in good hands? Call Kara and Celeste Benjamin at the Benjamin Agency. One agency, 2 locations in North Smithfield and Bellingham. One telephone number, 765-5000. Subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and Allstate Property and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
At the turn of this century, 27% of people who passed away were cremated. By the year 2020, that figure rose to 56%. The Cremation Association of America projects that by the year 2040, 4 out of 5 Americans will choose cremation over a casket burial. Berarducci Funeral Home and Cremation Care Center of Woonsocket can answer your questions about the cremation process. Go online to providencecremation.com. Berarducci Funeral Home and Cremation Care Center on Spring Street, Woonsocket. Let them create the perfect service for your loved one. Berarducci Funeral Home and Cremation Care Center.
Hi, this is Gary Smith. Join me for Do You Remember, Tuesday through Friday mornings at 9:30 here on ON Radio.
Thanks, Gary. All right, Coffee In on ON Radio. This is Joe Callahan. Thanks for joining us. Bob Lauder's here. Sue Tessia McKenzie is here. Joining us on the phone with Woonsocket Mayor Lisa Baldelli Hunt is here. And good morning to you there, Mayor.
Hi, good morning. Good
Nice-
morning, Sue. Good morning, Bob.
Nice to have you here with us. Sue has just stepped out for just a minute, and we're going to get to the mayor right after we hear from Bob, who's got a first message from his law office.
Good morning. Thank you. This is Attorney Bob Lauder. I'd like to talk to you this morning about two recent cases, one from the United States Supreme Court and the second from the Rhode Island Supreme Court. The federal case is entitled Thompson versus Clark, and it arose when a 911 call was made alleging that Thompson was sexually abusing a baby. The EMTs and the police responded to the call and attempted to enter Thompson's apartment. Thompson told them they could not enter without a warrant and was arrested for obstruction of justice and resisting arrest. A medical examination of the baby revealed that it had not been the victim of any sexual abuse. The charges against Thompson were dismissed before trial without any explanation from the prosecutor. Thompson thereupon sued the municipality, claiming injury from malicious prosecution. The municipality defended the claim and claimed that in order to prove malicious prosecution, Thompson had the obligation of proving that a criminal prosecution ended not merely without a conviction, but also some affirmative indication of innocence. The United States Supreme Court ruled in favor of Thompson. It examined the original malicious prosecution tort law enacted in 1871, 150 years prior to the trial, and determined that at that time most American courts agreed that a favorable termination element of a malicious prosecution claim was satisfied so long as the prosecution ended without a conviction, and that although Thompson's case there was never an indication of innocence, the dismissal of the charges prior to trial were sufficient to establish grounds for claim for malicious prosecution. If you think my office may be of assistance to you in legal matters, please call me for an appointment. My name is Bob Lauder. My telephone number is 762-4550. And the disclaimer: the Supreme Court of Rhode Island licenses all attorneys in the general practice of law. The court does not license or certify any attorney as an expert or specialist in any field of practice. Thank you.
Bob, in that case, could it be determined who called 911 to start this whole thing rolling?
The case indicated that it was a relative of the defendant who was kind of mentally unstable
I see.
and may have done it just as a
joke or
as a revenge move or something
I
along
see.
those lines.
sad.
Yes.
All right, very good. Woonsocket Mayor Lisa Baldelli Hunt, thanks for joining us this morning, Mayor. And the good news is, because we got the press release yesterday, the splash pad is fully 100% functional, correct?
Yes, it is.
Well, it's
Yes, it is.
a long wait for that
and
part to come in, huh?
Yes, I know it's August, but I still think that it was important for everyone to know in case they didn't see it or on social media, or if they didn't see it earlier in the newspaper when it was being reported that it was down and out. But yes, oftentimes those parts are problematic, and that's what happened in this case. Of course, we're going to have some really warm days, we hope,
Sure.
in August, and we know that oftentimes carries right through into September. So
All right,
it's a good
no,
opportunity for the children.
and you're right. You gotta get the word out, because you know there's just gonna be some people that see it was not working properly in July, and people are just gonna make the assumption, well, it's done for the year, and maybe next year it'll be up and running. Some people just make those assumptions for whatever reason.
That's true. That's
So,
true.
did they ever give you a reason of why it took so long for the part you needed to get here, other than supply chain issues?
Well, actually, it did come from another country,
Okay,
so that caused a little bit of a holdup
that's time.
as well.
Mm-hmm.
And so we had to sit tight and wait. We were not happy. We wished it was something we could have ordered and had it overnight delivery, but
Sure.
it wasn't the case. So,
Okay.
but I do want to thank the staff, the Parks and Rec, the Highway. Everyone tried to make do by putting sprinklers and hanging the sprinklers higher so that the water would still splash down. So they got pretty creative, and I want to thank them for their efforts as well.
All right, and it's good that the Parks and Rec people, they were able to install the part on their own. They didn't have to call in a specialist.
Actually, I'm not sure who Director D'Agostino had install it.
Okay.
But what was important to me was that it was installed.
Yes. And it's up and running. So, and what are the hours at the splash pad?
It is weather permitting,
Mm-hmm.
10 a.m. to 7 p.m., 7 days a week, I believe, is what we put in the press release.
All right. And I think you'll see Bob Lauder down there pretty soon, right, Bob? A little splash around.
But
Bob?
a long
You're
time would be a
welcome.
lot of fun.
Yep, Bob, you're welcome. Just remember, there's no smoking in the park.
Oh, rats.
I don't
I'll
think
have
that
to leave my
affects
Meerschaum at home.
She had to throw that in, Bob.
That was the rest of the press release.
That's right. There's no
in the park.
smoking in the park. Has that, not to be a downer, has that been an issue though over at the splash pad, or have
Well, there's always times that people just may not be thinking. It may be customary for them to just kind of light up anywhere.
right?
But there is no smoking in the park. So we try to enforce that, but there's just so many
Well,
other
you never
things
know.
to enforce. It's tough.
Right. Okay. Well, good news about the splash pad up and running. Like you said, weather permitting, 7 days, 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. That's fantastic news. Now, the other press release we received a couple of days ago, and Director D'Agostino talked about it last week as well, is the grant you received, over $425,000, if I'm correct, to do more paving in the city of Woonsocket.
Yes. So the situation is that there was $20 million that was budgeted through the state budget and for road improvements throughout the 39 cities and towns. And $5 million of that was an automatic distribution evenly to all 39 cities and towns.
Mm-hmm.
The remaining $15 million was divided among the 39 cities and towns, and that was determined by the amount of roadway that each municipality had. There was a formula that was used by the Department of Transportation. So they used that, so then that's where the second pool of funds came from.
Mm-hmm.
It's a 67% match, so the city would put in, if it was a $100,000 job, we'd put in $67,000, and the state would put in $33,000, but still only up to the amount that we're receiving. So in totality, with the 4 and change from the state and the 8 and change from the city, it will be a total of just under $1.3 million of additional road work in Woonsocket.
All right, Sue.
Yeah, I had a question. First of all, good morning, Lisa. So somebody asked me the other day, I guess they caught part of the show when Steve D'Agostino was on, and they questioned me about the lead pipe funding or whatever. And I said, don't get me wrong, I kind of half listened to what Steve was saying. So I told him if I had the opportunity, I would ask this morning. Where does
Sure.
that stand?
So we have put in on more than one occasion for funding for the lead pipe removal. And we did get some funding from the federal government. The difference between some grants that we apply for through the state or through other agencies, I guess you could say, is that when it's through the federal government, there are different rules and guidelines. So there's one grant that we have, it's been over a year, and we still haven't gotten the distribution. Now, I'm not complaining because we were awarded, the grant. I don't have in front of me the amount, but the water department, the superintendent there has been, over the years, trying to identify different properties that may still have lead piping.
Okay.
We have done a very good job of removing lead piping in the city over the years, but as soon as that funding hits our account, then we can move forward and offer that to the residents who have lead pipes.
Oh, got it. Now, is there a, yes, they have lead pipes, but do you prioritize somebody that may be having a problem with their lead pipes?
Problem with them?
Like, I don't know, leakage, cracks, anything of the sort.
Well, my understanding, and I would have to double check, is I believe there are quite a few folks who, well, first of all, we can't change any lead pipe until we have the funds.
Right, of
So
course.
if you have a problem with your pipes right now, obviously you can't wait 6 months or 8 months
Right.
or 8 weeks, right? But I do know that or I believe that the water department had the forms available, and there are people who have already filled out forms requesting that their pipes be removed.
Oh, well, that's good.
I haven't been briefed on where they are with that, but
Got it.
certainly
Well-
it would be a first come, first served basis.
Right. That I did remember that Steve said that. So basically, I'll just say, get the forms, fill them out, start at least someplace. So that would be the start.
Right.
Get in
Right.
line.
And maybe they have so many forms there. Maybe they have so many applicants that they've stopped just to get a handle on how far these funds can go.
Right. Right.
Okay, let's take a break right here before we get more from the mayor and get a second message from Attorney Bob Lauder in your law office.
Thank you. Good morning. The second case I'd like to discuss with you this morning is that of State versus Sinapi, and it was decided on June 22nd of this year. There are many elements to the Sinapi case, but the one I'd like to discuss with you this morning involves CSLI, Cell Site Location Information, without a warrant. The defendant was suspected of involvement in a capital crime, and the police were attempting to locate the defendant. The officers knew that the defendant was on probation, and they went to his probation officer, who supplied the police with the defendant's cell phone number. The police then contacted the defendant's cell phone carrier and requested access to the defendant's real-time CSLI. The carrier provided the location, which led the police to the home of the defendant's girlfriend. The police then secured a search warrant for her home, and evidence was used at trial. After the trial, in which the defendant was found guilty, the defendant filed an appeal, alleging in part that the trial justice erred in denying his motion to suppress the evidence collected as a result of the warrantless search of his real-time CSLI that resulted in his apprehension. The Rhode Island Supreme Court ruled that the Fourth Amendment to the United States Constitution provides the right of the people to be secure against unreasonable searches and seizures, and that searches and seizures conducted outside judicial process without prior approval by a judge or magistrate are per se unreasonable under the Fourth Amendment, subject only to a few specially established and well-delineated exceptions. And there are two kinds of CSLI, historical and real-time. Prior decisions of the court have held that historical CSLI that is subject to protection because the individual maintains a legitimate expectation of privacy in the recording of his or her physical movements captured through CSLI. In ruling for the defendant, the court cited prior cases in which the United States Supreme Court had ruled that if the state could utilize a cell phone's substantial monitoring and tracking features without a warrant supported by probable cause, it may very well alter the relationship between the citizen and the government in ways that is inimical to democratic society. In the present case, although the state's use of CSLI was limited, the court was of the opinion that it constituted an unlawful search. However, in connection with the totality of the crime and the other evidence involved, the case was determined to be a harmless error. If you think my office may be assistance to you in legal matters, please call me for an appointment. My name is Bob Lauder. My telephone number is 762-4550. And the disclaimer: the Supreme Court of Rhode Island licenses all attorneys in the general practice of law. The court does not license to certify any attorney as an expert or specialist in any field of practice. Thank you.
So keep that in mind, Bob. If someone comes to your office and says, "Hey, I'm part of this whole Subway contest to change my name to Subway,"
Yes.
you can charge $750 because that's what Subway's giving them. So,
Wow.
hey, so
Man, this is good news.
keep that in mind. All right.
Yeah, but there's only one person who's changing the name to Subway, right? They're
That's
only
right. They're
choosing
only
one.
choosing one. So
God.
the odds that they'll be around here pretty slim.
Just like the winning of the big lottery.
That's right. Exactly like that. More Coffee Hands coming up. Comments and questions can be called in, especially for the mayor, at 766-1240.
Hi, I'm Kathleen LaValle at The Honey Shop. Check out our Facebook page at The Honey Shop RI, and there you'll see a whole list of our new classes and lots of fun things to do. You could join us for making limoncello, pizzas, pasta making, cheese making. So many fun things to do and learn.
Thanks, Kathy. Folks, if you love food, you'll love the Honey Shop, right behind the Dunkin' Donuts at Park Square in Woonsocket. This is the most wonderful time of the year when we can feed ourselves with fresh fruits and vegetables like no other time of year, because Old Orchard Farm is open for the season. Be sure to stop by Old Orchard Farm in Manville. The freshest vegetables are ready for you there. Lettuce, carrots, tomatoes, squash, broccoli, peppers, eggplant, and the native corn on the cob we wait all year for. Plus, native blueberries. Old Orchard Farm now carries Belize bread products and Wright's Dairy Farm milk. When you stop by, say hello to Ashley and Tina, the new owners of Old Orchard Farm, 505 Old River Road in Manville. Old Orchard Farm. Let's grow together.
Hi, this is Joanne Forcier Hebert, calling for all classmates of Woonsocket High School class of 1978. Come help us celebrate our 45th reunion at Bella's Restaurant in Glendale, Friday, September 15th from 5 to 10. Looking forward to sharing memories of our past and creating new ones. Please call Linda Barad Senical at 401-766-3134 for more information. We also have a Facebook page, Woonsocket High Class of 1978, to find out more information also. Hope to see you there.
You can depend on us for public service, ON Radio.
All right, thanks for joining us on Coffee and. This is Joe Callahan here with Bob Lauder, Sue Tesser McKenzie. Woonsocket Mayor Lisa Baldelli Hunt is on the phone with us as well. And remember, Mayor, still with us?
I am here.
Okay, things could always be worse. You could be the mayor in Tampa, Florida. Did you hear what happened with her?
No
I
idea.
did not.
Oh, okay. It's really not a bad thing. Her and her family went on a vacation. All right, and they decided to go to the Florida Keys, and now she's fishing. And instead of hooking a fish, she hooked 70 pounds of cocaine.
Whoa!
In the water.
Wow.
Yeah. Now she knew exactly what to do because her name is Jane Castor. She spent 8 years working in the narcotics department at the Tampa Police Department. Was then promoted to police chief, and now she's the mayor of that town. And so she gives it over to the police, obviously. But the street value of 70 pounds of cocaine is $1.1 million.
Whoa!
Good for her.
It is very good
glad.
for her. Yeah.
Yeah, that is very good news. Good for her.
Yeah, but she didn't have much alternative. I mean,
Well, no.
well, you know, she doesn't have the distribution chain to market the cocaine.
True.
And standing on the street corner with a sign
Selling
on you
it?
saying that I'm the mayor of Tampa and I'm willing to sell you cocaine.
I'm the mayor. You
Probably
should
not-
buy from me.
No.
Not smart.
That
No.
won't work.
All right, Mayor, we had the governor on Monday, and he mentioned that you were down at the State House giving a speech. He was he thought you did a great job giving the speech. Who did you speak in front of?
Oh, that was actually for the municipal road work funding that we just spoke of.
Oh, okay.
So two mayors spoke at that press conference with him, myself and Mayor Charles Lombardi from North Providence. And then other mayors and town administrators and town managers joined. So basically, all the media outlets were there to cover the press conference because, of course, it was the governor's press conference,
Sure.
not because it was myself and Mayor Lombardi, that's for sure. But yes, it was nice and it was well done. So that's where I was. That's
Okay.
what he's speaking of. Mm-hmm.
Excellent. All right. So tell us, what other good things going on in the city of Woonsocket that you'd like to mention?
Well, I would like to mention two things in particular. One, I believe you already received the flyer, but I am an annual attendee because it is so well done and so delicious. Of course, I don't attend if they don't have it during the pandemic, but which is the annual food festival at St. John's the Baptist Romanian Orthodox Church on the corner of Elbow and East School. And I'm sure you're probably promoting it, but
Yes.
I just wanted to give my stamp of approval. If you are out and about on Saturday, August 26th, their festival is from 11 in the morning until 9 at night. And this is all homemade food. It is absolutely delicious. It's from the regular meal down to the dessert, and music and dancing, and there's raffles and prizes, and you can stop in, you can leave, go back. If you want to eat lunch, then go back for dinner so you don't have to cook. You can do that as well, get something to go. But a shout out to them. That church is always very involved in the city, and they do great things. And if you can, stop by and have a stuffed cabbage roll or.
Is that your favorite piece of food to have, the stuffed cabbage roll?
Well, I do. I like the shish kebab as
All
well.
right.
But then again, I like the Romanian grilled sausage, so I'll take it all.
All right, great. And the other event?
And the other is it is a press release will be going out from my office a little later today. But my administration's been working with the United Veterans Council, and the UVC has been working diligently. They've been working very hard, tedious work of gathering all the names of the World War II soldiers who never returned home and who were never received a proper burial here. And it was, like I said, very tedious. And they have finally gotten to the point where they feel comfortable with all the names that they've learned of. And on Monday, Victory Day, we will be unveiling the memorial that will be at World War II, appropriately, at World War II Veterans Memorial Park. So it will be this Monday at 4 p.m., and we will unveil the memorial, which will be permanently placed there. I have to tell you, they were diligent in their efforts, and it took a team. And I also want to thank my administration because the details of going into placing something like this, the ground architecture, the landscape, so to speak, and just the details of the coordination of it, wording, things such as that. So it was good effort all around, but I must say that Rainey Boudreau and his team did a phenomenal job. So anyone out there who is available, wants to come down to the park, it is 4 o'clock on Monday.
Okay. And Mayor, we did get a note in from the audience, 766-1240, just says to the mayor, does the mayor have any comments on the armrests put on the benches in the park?
Sure. So, of course, we know that sometimes there are rabble-rousers out there who will look for anything to try to create a story or a press for them to draw attention to them. But I guess Alex Kithis sent something out to the media. I would like it to be known that Alex Kithis never called my office to ask me why do the park benches have armrests. So I can tell you several things. First of all, benches are not beds. Benches are for people to sit on.
Mm-hmm.
Secondly, the benches, and we have moved across the city as we're purchasing benches. We are purchasing smaller benches. The years of long benches where 3 people would sit, we've moved to a shorter bench where it's more comfortable for 2 people. And what we learned, and I mean, this happened to me for years with my kids in parks, amusement parks, bike paths, what have you. When you have an open bench, people tend to sit in the middle of the bench because you just say, I'm going to sit here. If I sit in the middle, other people won't sit on the side of me.
Okay.
So by having the armrest, it really forces the ability for 2 people to sit on the bench instead of 1.
It's like a psychological
because
thing.
people are uncomfortable saying, excuse me, would you move
over?
I mean, I'd
Yeah.
like to sit as well, right? So we've shortened the benches. We've put armrests on them so 2 people can sit. And we also learned just from, being in the senior area for so many years. I've been with seniors for a very long time. Having 2 armrests, one on the right and one on the left, is beneficial to them in lifting off of the bench. So
getting
not
up,
every
sure.
senior, right? Not every senior can just stand straight up.
Mm-hmm.
Oftentimes they need a little assistance and they push off of the armrest. So instead of just calling and saying, why are there armrests? And I could have just simply said, it benefits folks, and you don't even have to be a senior. There are folks
Sure.
who may not be seniors, but they need assistance in pushing themselves off of the bench. It allows for more than one person to sit on the bench. And honestly, now that they brought this up where, hostile architecture, which I didn't realize architecture was like a living, breathing organism of some sort where you can make it hostile. But quite frankly, benches are for sitting. And if, someone needs to lie down, it's not on a bench. But since they brought this up, I will say benches are for sitting. Benches are not for sleeping.
No matter what you do, someone's not going to like it, Mayor.
Listen, I'm accustomed to this.
Yeah.
And, I'm always open to suggestions. I've had people who mentioned that they needed the armrest.
They wanted
And that's
armrests,
one of the
okay.
reasons they're there.
Okay. I think you answered that question quite well. All right, very good. We've come to the end of the program, though, so we do have to move. We have to move along. So we got to say goodbye. So, Mayor, thanks for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you again or having you back on next month.
Thank you. Excuse me, I'm coughing. Everyone, take care. Be well. See you next time.
Very good.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Robert.
Mayor. All right, and Sue Tester McKenzie, thanks for coming in.
No problem. Thank you.
Thanks
Stay
for
safe out there. Stay hydrated
That's
and
right.
cool.
And thanks for looking stuff up for us when we don't have the
Right?
answers.
I mean, hey,
Oh, we had the answers. It's just wrong answers.
they didn't know where they were. You had the answers,
Well, you
just
got-
the wrong
well,
ones.
Well, you got
Yeah.
the MDA, and we got the thing about
Yep.
being pulled over by the police if you're the passenger in the state of Rhode Island.
I like
So,
feeling intelligent at times.
Bob, thanks for coming in.
Thank you for inviting me. Hope to see you next week.
All right, very good. This is Joe Callahan. Have yourself a great day, everyone. Stay tuned for Gary Smith and the crew. Do you remember is coming up at 9:30 on ON Radio.
Broadcasting live and local daily from the Navigant Credit Union broadcast studio at the corner of Park Avenue and Kennedy Street. This is WOON Woonsocket Radio. And now, the news. The MBTA is adding extra trains for Bruce Springsteen and the E Street Band at Gillette Stadium coming up on Saturday the 26th. Tickets go on sale at 11 a.m. tomorrow. That's for the train tickets. Through the M-Ticket app. Trains will depart from Providence Station with stops at Providence, Pawtucket and Central Falls, Attleboro, Mansfield before arriving in Foxborough. Well, there's another survey out there, folks, and it says that Rhode Island is the fourth